Welcome to the final part of the guide on Blackbeard. Remember to follow us on all social media and don't forget that we stream on all platforms on Monday, Tuesday and Saturday. And now let's go to the video. So let's start with the SHANKS aggro matchup. As you can see in the early game, you should mulligan for Shiryu, because Shiryu is able to solve the 3-cost Sanji that a lot of Shanks are playing, and it's really good to resolve them. And in this game, usually you mulligan for Kuzan and Stage to find your barges, and because in this matchup the setup is not essential, so you mainly play pushing with barges. In the mid game, our goal is to clear as much as possible until we reach the 8th dawn turn, and when we are at 8th dawn, we just drop double barges to set up a strong board in preparation for Teach. And also barges plus removal is a great option versus Shanks at 8th dawn. In the late game, just like in the standard Shanks matchup, we just wanna chain Teach while being healthy, so while having 2 life. And if you do manage to do so, it's almost a guaranteed win. And watch out for Roger. A lot of Shanks lists are playing 1 copies of Roger, so play around it. Against Shanks, we will use the Leader's effect to prevent Beckman and Rayleigh, just like we did against the control version. So always look at the board to see if you need to use the Leader ability, and if your board is strong enough to not be damaged by Beckman or Rayleigh, just keep the card in hand. Life management is similar to facing the Shanks control, but if you don't have an answer for his 5-cost drop, you just counter the first life. Maybe it's better to do so. If you have a response to his first 5 drop, just take the first life and then start to counter every other 5k attack. As in the other Shanks matchup, Vasco Shot is extremely strong, so if you can, add it. And a strong card in the matchup, as I said before, is Shiryu, because it can remove every 3-cost drop. Laboon is not too good in this matchup because usually you don't want to set up. The second matchup that I wanna show you is the matchup with ZORO animals. In the early game, you should mulligan for Dokyu and Van Agur as usual, and your Shiryu, that is really good in the matchup. In the mid game, you wanna play around his 1-cost counter. If you don't have any way to resolve his pieces, don't attack. And our goal is to establish a board control with Shiryu, Agur, etc. And if you can drop barges with a good spot, just play, because your opponent will have an hard time to deal with it, so it will just help you to close the game. And if ZORO attacks your units, so Van Agur and Q, just let them go and say thank you, because they are giving you a lot of tempo. And Vasco Shot is also really good in this matchup, because your main goal is to stay as healthy as possible before dropping the 10-cost Teach. And usually, in the late game, as you can see, you wanna just start chaining cost and Teach. And if you are able to do so, you just win the game, because your swing will be too big for him to guard, and you will close the game in 2, maximum 3 turns. Against ZORO Animal, I recommend using the Leader's effect in anticipation of his 6 or 7 dawn turn, as that is usually when he starts to fill the board more easily with the 3-cost chopper. So just use your Leader ability in that spot, and elite game, if you are scared of a dragon maybe, just in this spot. Don't use it early, or you will go too far behind. For the life management, that is the most crucial part of the matchup, you should guard every attack. Every attack that you can guard, just do it. So every 5k, if you have a 2k counter, guard a 6k, and in the late game, don't be afraid to give 1k to guard a 6k attack. The key to win this matchup is to avoid dropping to 0 life. As before, Shiryu is a really good addition in this matchup, because it helps you deal with all his 3 costs, so basically his whole deck, so I think that you should play this. So this is the deck list that I'm currently playing. As you can see, I'm running a full playset of Shiryu and Laboon, because I find them very useful in certain matchups, such as ZORO and Smoker. And other than that, the list is pretty standard. I've decided to divide the deck list explanation in 4 sections. The first section that I will show you is the staples section, and there is not much to say there, as we are essentially required to play these cards in 4 copies. So we just have Kuzan, Barrios, Marshall DTH, and you just have to play it in 4 copies. The second section is the searchers. They are crucial for the deck's consistency, and currently I'm playing 9 of them, 4 copies of the Sage, 3 copies of Lafitte, and 2 of My Era Begins. So, in my opinion, 4 copies of the stage are essential and can be considered a staple, as they help us assess all the cards in the deck. And additionally, if we are skilled enough to remember the order in which we place the card at the bottom of the deck, at a certain point you will know every future draws, and that's insane. And I decided to run 3 Lafitte and only 2 Maira, mainly due to space, because I need other cards in the deck. And I didn't go for 3 Maira Begins and 2 Lafittes, because I believe that Lafitte is far superior against aggro decks. I want to see him. The third section of the deck is, in my opinion, the most important one, the setup pieces. In my case, I prefer to invest heavily in this part of the deck. I play for the Q because I believe that they are essential against almost every deck in the meta. They help you reach positions where it becomes nearly impossible to lose the game, and the ability to have our setup in place along with Tank of Stitch often secures the win. And then I run a total of 7 reducers between Vanagur and Laboon. Currently I'm playing 4 Laboon and 3 Vanagur, but this ratio can be changed without an issue. And if you expect a lot of Smoker and Ploof in the meta, Laboon is the better choice. The last category is the removal cards. As you can see, I'm not including Liberation in my deck, and I'm using only 2 copies of Black Hole. I play for Shiryu because, as I said earlier, they are extremely strong against all the aggressive deck in the meta, and they are also very useful against green, as they provide a clear answer to 3-cost Tashigi, and additionally, they are Kuzan targets, meaning that against aggro we can discard them for counter, and then bring them back with Kuzan and remove a Tref. So they are really good. And as you can see, I'm playing a total of 6 removal spells, just to run a 4-finger pistol and only 2 black holes, because I don't think that there will be too many Blackbeard in this meta, and also the finger pistols trigger can often win the game on his own, so I want to play 4 of them. And I'm not playing Liberation. I feel it's a tempo loss against aggros, so removing 2 units is strong, but since I will not be able to deploy anything, so I will not develop my board in the meantime, I don't think that it's the ideal play. As always, we thank you for watching the video. With this, our guide on Blackbeard comes to an end. Let us know if you would like to see guides on other decks, and remember to follow us on every social media, and bye!